Hello friends, this is Stitchy Witchy Bee. I'm Bee. My pronouns are she, her. Today's date is August 1st of 2025. If you aren't familiar, this is a channel about and for cross-stitching for the most part. This is going to be a pretty short video if you haven't already seen the timestamp. This was a really good month for the amount of stitching I did, but I didn't work on very many projects, if that makes sense. And because it's going to be short already, I'm just going to kind of just jump right into the cross stitch itself. I'm not going to do some of my extra stuff, even though this is the only video I'm making for July. Sometimes I'll do like a fact at the end, a tarot card pull to look at the month ahead, things like that. But this time I'm just going to stick pretty simply to the cross stitch itself. In the month of June, in July, I worked on 3 projects. Whereas in June I worked on 13, so there was a definite jump in the number. But I did a bit over 14,000 stitches total. So I did do a lot of stitching, just not a lot of projects. So we're going to jump right into which ones I did. I'm going in kind of chronological order of the oldest project to the newest. This first one is hopefully showing up mostly on screen. This is Salem 1692 by Witch's Garden Crafts. It is on 28 count Murky by Picture This Plus with the called for DMC. I had restarted this at some point. I was doing it originally on a black, I believe, and I started in the middle of the house, just was not showing up at all. And some of these other colors are ghosting on this Murky, but I really like the effect of it, so I am very happy that I restarted it, and that I restarted it on this. At the beginning of the month, I only had a bit of the house, so I did pretty much the entire rest of this month. Very happy with it. It is finished, and I think I probably will at some point actually fully finish this. I know I don't do that very often, but I'm so happy with this overall look. And I think probably this motif with the little skulls on the plant is my favorite. The next project was one that I started, I think, last month or the month before. This is Halloween Primitive Sampler by AnnaXStitchArt. Wow, that was really difficult for me to say. This is on 28 count. This is Halloween by Witch's Garden Crafts. I did do some substitutions of the floss for the orange and the green. I had this kind of fluorescent, I think it's more thread than floss, but it looked really good with this. I knew I was going to love it. I was very happy with this. I think the last time I talked, I'd been starting to do some of the black here, and I didn't like the coverage of what I was using, so I came back in and just did 2 strands for that alone, for any of the black, and that made it stand out a lot more. I really like this. And I did most of this last month. I think I only had a bit, like a chunk of the border of the orange, but nothing else. And then lastly, this was a start and a finish. This is Harvest Season Tomatoes by Owl Forest Embroidery. It is the first Owl Forest embroidery I've ever done. This was on 18 count Grogg by BeStitchMe. And I'm very happy with it. The white ghosts a lot, but it's still visible enough to me in person. And I'm very happy with this overall. This was, I think, just a bit over 5,000 stitches. I did the whole thing this month, and I'm genuinely very, very happy with it. I think it turned out great. It was a lot of fun to stitch. But yeah, that's that's all I worked on. It was just those 3 projects, but I finished all of them, which is fantastic. I didn't really follow any of the expected plans for last month, so I'm not really going to make any big ones for this month either. I'm hoping to continue to chip away at some of my older whips, while still having fun with the newer ones. I am thinking of restarting my black Phillip piece, and I'll put a picture of the finished design up, because I recently got this fabric by BeStitchMe called Muddy Puddles, and I think it would look really cool with that design in particular. So I might restart it on this. I also, just in the wild, came across the Crypto Naturalist quote that I have a sampler for, and I'll put that picture up here. I just came across the quote again in the wild, and it reminded me how much I love the design for this. So I've kind of dug out where I had stashed the project for the time being, and I will be working some more on that, I think. Yeah. Other than that, I'm not going to do a mid-year whip parade, even though this is right around my first year anniversary on YouTube, or Flosstube specifically. I just don't feel like I've worked on enough things this year to justify doing a full whip parade, so I will wait until the end of the calendar year before doing another whip parade, and hopefully I'll have more to show for it then. I was just kind of looking over some of my stats, and like I said, this is the most stitching I've done in a month was for July, but it is at the low end of what I did in the last 5 months of last year. Like the low end. I don't know what I was on at the end of last year, but I was stitching up a storm, and I have not been able to really match that since. But I'm still happy with the progress I've been doing. Like I said, this is three finishes, and one of them was a project I'd started technically like a while ago. Probably not a full year ago, but it's been a bit. So yeah, it's still good progress, still good. But that's all I've got. We're not gonna worry about anything else on this one. It's just gonna be a short, sweet video. So in closing, thank you again for being here. I know there's hundreds of floss tubes you could be watching, so I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this one, whether you are a returning viewer, whether you're new. I really appreciate you being here. Just try to remember to get enough water, stay safe, focus on what makes you happy, and I will see you next time. Bye.